Hey sixth graders, I hope you're having a fantastic day. Don't forget that the first 15 minutes of class, we spend that time completing a language lesson on Moby Max. So if you have done that, awesome, keep watching the video. But if you have not done that yet, make sure you pause and go to Moby Max. You'll click sign in. Make sure if you're having a hard time that it is on the as a student. I know some people have been trying the as a teacher and then it doesn't work. And then you'll type in your username and password. So once you get logged in, make sure that you complete the language lesson for today. We will start making the final versions of your draft and make them into books for our class library. Published pieces of writing need to be spelled correctly and have as few errors as possible. Today we'll proofread drafts and check them for spelling and punctuation errors. We're going to start this by looking through your draft. You're going to highlight or comment on any words that you're unsure of the spelling. After you've read through your entire draft and highlighted or commented on any words that you're unsure about how to spell, we're going to share those words as a whole class and discuss them. As everyone shares out words that they've highlighted in their drafts, then I'm going to make a list on our projector of all the words that we're unsure of how to spell. Then what you're going to do is count back 5 pages from your writing ideas section in your language arts notebook and then label it word bank at the top. And we're going to use this to add words often used in writing. Then all the words whose spelling is in question will go in this part of your notebook. That way in the future when you are working on drafts, you have your own personal dictionary of words that you know how to spell. Again, you're going to look at your draft and highlight any words for which you are unsure of the spelling. Then we're going to discuss these words as a class, and I'm going to write them on a document for everyone to see. Then in your language arts notebook, you're going to count back 5 pages from your writing ideas section and label it word bank at the top. We're going to take the words that we discuss in class and then write them in your word bank in your language arts notebook. So that way you have a personal reference later for your future writing. Then you're going to look up the words that you didn't know how to spell with a Chromebook and add that word and spelling in your notebooks. Even if you found out that you spelled that word correctly, I still want you to add it to your notebook so that way you remember in the future too. So let's say I'm reading through my draft and I'm not sure if I spelled the word definitely correctly. I'm going to highlight that word, make it a yellow color, so that way I know that I need to look up that word and add it to my word bank in my language arts notebook. Since I didn't know how to spell that word, I'll look it up on Google with my Chromebook, and then once I find the right way to spell the word, I'll open up my language arts notebook to my word bank section and then write the word. So I wrote the word definitely in the word bank section. After you read through your entire draft and looked up any words that you weren't sure about the spelling for, we're going to move on to punctuation. So we're going to re-examine our drafts now for punctuation. We're going to check that each sentence begins with a capital letter, ends with a period, question mark, or exclamation point, and also that you capitalize the first letter of any proper nouns. After you reread your draft looking for those things, we are going to add some notes into our language arts notebook. So you're going to count 3 pages ahead of your word bank section, the section that we just created today, and you're going to create a new title called Proofreading Notes. And after you do that, you can create a table that looks like what you see on your screen. You're going to keep track of the skills of writing you learn over this year. Over time, this will be a checklist of things to pay attention to when you get ready to publish your drafts. So the first rule you need to add is that you should capitalize the first letter of sentences. And then in the middle column, you can put an example. I wrote a sentence that says, once upon a time, and then it could go on, and I made sure to capitalize that first letter of my sentence. The second rule you can add is that you need to punctuate at the end of sentences. So I talked about using a period, a question mark, and an exclamation point. So I had 3 examples in the middle column. It says he ran, and then it ends with a period. Did he run? And it ends with a question mark. And then boy, can he run, which ends with an exclamation point. The third rule that you can add is that you need to capitalize names or proper nouns. So for my examples, I have a name John, the United States, Saturday, Boston, and November. Just a variety of things that need to be capitalized in writing. And then I also added some notes. So I didn't do that for my first 2 rules, but I wanted to do it for my third rule because there are a variety of things going on. So it says it includes names of people, countries, cities, days, and months. If you want to add more examples or more of your own notes, feel free to do that. But make sure you get these 3 rules in your proofreading notes in your language arts notebook. After we add these proofreading rules in your proofreading notes in your language arts notebook, the rest of class will be yours to go over any spelling that you're still unsure of and to make sure that you have everything capitalized and punctuated correctly. We are getting closer to being finished with our first drafts, so you want to make sure that you have everything revised and proofread and as close to perfect as possible